Wow, I can't wait to get over my bronchitis and rejoin the choir. So I'm not going to use my iPhone. I wrote this down to stay on time, and failing in that, I have Phil. It's even better. But if somebody feels the need to tell me to duck, please go right ahead. You may have noticed that we've been several weeks now doing this cool shared ministry campaign, looking at all the ways that we can do ministry together here. I especially loved the skit last week with the boxes and the kids and Ned and everything. And while we were planning this cool campaign, we called what's about to happen now the necessary talk about money. Money's tricky, you know, it's not evil by itself, but we have to be careful about how we relate to it. And money matters to the church in two ways. One is the same way that it matters to the public radio station, the guy selling real change newspapers, or any voluntary nonprofit agency. We raise what we can in pledges. We use the resulting budgets to pay our staff, maintain our building, and fund our programs. But the other way money matters is as an experience, one that I thank God is equally available to the rich and the poor. It's the experience of promising and giving a portion of all that we have in the world as an expression of love for our commitment to follow Jesus together. Unlike an ordinary nonprofit agency, where the meaningfulness of the gift is in its dollar impact on the budget, the meaningfulness of a love gift to the church is in the willing sacrifice, the kind of giving over that it represents. So we don't view our donors as associate level, patron level, saint level, angel level, or even broadcast circle member. If I became so poor that I can only pledge and give $1 a month in weekly installments, I can do it here. And I can have the I love you that my gift represents be just as loud and clear as that of a well-off brother or sister who might give 1,000 times as much. And if I were that brother or sister, financially 1,000 times more well-off, I could add my I love you to the community without the fear of being elitist or lording it over the poor, and without participating in a tiered system of sort of gold, silver, and bronze level members. And that's a system that Jesus taught could endanger my very soul on the day when the first become last and the last become first. Pledging and giving money isn't symbolic, it's real. There's never enough money, and it seldom comes easily. Giving over a non-trivial part of that precious money and all that it could bring is a rich and real experience. So if you come here to worship or sing or be with friends and family and don't pledge and give, you're still welcome. You're a human being created in God's image, and your beautiful face among us here is quite a gift by itself. But you're missing out on something you shouldn't miss. You're missing the full experience of joining the generations of the faithful people whose love put Seattle First Baptist Church into this community where we learn to follow Jesus, loving and caring for our neighbors. So when my pledge card appears in the mail or in a bulletin or in the hand of a friend or however it gets distributed to me this year, I'm going to pledge a non-trivial part of my liquid wealth as an expression of my love for all we do together. If I lose my job or win the lottery, I might have to call the church office to adjust my pledge. But I know that I'm fully experiencing the joy and the reality of fully loving this community and the journey we make together. Easy as it might be, I wouldn't miss that for the world. Certainly not this world. Our gospel reading for today is a sacred story about a money-related expression. It's from Luke chapter 19, the first 10 verses. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was the chief tax collector, and he was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he could not because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this, and they began to mutter, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood up, and he said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half my possessions to the poor. And if I've cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost." Thanks be to God for our sacred stories. Let's now give thanks as we stand to sing the hymn, "The Loving God Who Made Us All," with the words that are printed in your worship bulletin.